don't have much time. Everything's wrong. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Oh. No. Okay. No, I have a plan. It's gonna be okay. Listen to me, Etta. I'm not sure when you'll listen to these tapes, but I got risperidone. I got a lot of it. Just it's gonna be okay. I did what I had to do. I didn't know. I set the object under my desk. I inserted the key and I turned 5 times. There was a humming sound on the 5th turn, a click and a whir like some internal mechanism was starting. The whir blended together with the buzz of the light above my desk, so no one could have noticed. Just me. When I left work, I felt light. I didn't know what I'd done, but I felt like I'd done something important. For once in my life, something... And my ears were burning. It's like the hum of the object was between my ears. I started running through ideas for a place to find you and Jessa once I got their spare time from Brockett. I kept walking and I kept thinking. But gradually, the hum in my head got louder, and I started to feel it in my teeth. The hum changed. It wasn't a hum, it was a scream. A sound that cut like glass, like 2 far-off pieces of metal scraping against one another. I started running. I tripped and hit my head. I looked around and I began to notice that everyone else in the street was also running. They were covering their ears. The sound wasn't in my head. I wasn't imagining it. And then it stopped. It took me a while to readjust. I could still hear the ringing in my ears, but it faded until I could only hear my heart pounding. The others on the street were all looking at each other, breathing heavily. Everyone looked confused, but somehow in the momentary silence, I knew exactly what was going to happen next. My eyes shot up to Empyrean only a moment before a bright light seared upwards from the bank. And there was another sound. It was like a clap or a switch, and then another, like the sound in a tunnel the moment before it collapses. It was a sound so deep and so powerful that it was felt more than heard. I could only watch as the light touched the surface of the water, which rippled. From down here, the waves looked small, but somehow I knew they were titanic. Empyrean withdrew from it. Huge rings pulled away, colliding into each other and cascading to larger and larger circles. And then a few stray drops of water followed my face, and I heard... They were praising it. They were praising Empyrean. They started singing the truths, saying we were blessed with a miracle. I tried to tell them to run, but they looked at me like I was crazy. I yelled and I screamed while I myself sprinted through the streets, stumbling past crowds with eyes and hands towards their God. I found stairs and ramps and anything that went up, and I just took them. I kept going up and up and up. The rain started getting heavier. No one even noticed me running. They were all too transfixed on the light and on the ocean. I felt the wind change. It pulled on my clothes and my hair. It didn't have your voice in it. Each of the rings that was spreading and compounding had stopped, suspended for a moment in perfect symmetry. A dot of light and countless circles around it. In reverse directions, the rings got smaller, denser, crashing in on each other as the waves rushed towards the light. It was horrible. couldn't look away. It tore. Empyrean bulged with the weight of the waves as they crashed again and again at the same point until it tore open. The water, it came down and it smothered everything. Glass shattered from every window, metal whirled and bent until it snapped, until structures were torn down. The songs of praise turned to screams. The screams, they just kept screaming. I can't stop hearing them. Parents, friends, lovers, children, they screamed until the rain swallowed them whole. But I still hear them. I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to happen like it. Of course I didn't. How could I know? The followers used me. They fucking used me, and now all these people because I trusted them to. Please don't forgive me for this. Not after everything that's happened. I made these tapes to explain myself. To talk to you again. To really talk, to prove to you that I've changed. I haven't changed. I see that now. They found me. I told there were spirits on it. But I'm gonna get it to you, please. And just look after it. No!
Finalized compilation of case number 1147525. Begin audio log. This archive comprises of a series of tapes found near the top of Tower 5 in the Orchards. Going forward with the notes by archivist designation 442 about the tapes. The subject speaking is identified as a maker of middle skill level, identification code 399017. Given name, Jeremy Ballard. Occupation, banking. His statements were corroborated with the taken databases and supported by anointed records. Spouse, Etta Ballard. Add a personal note to subject spouse. It appears in the files as though she rejected her assigned job as a seamstress and instead chose to entertain menial workers in a social establishment. I think this is why the unit suffered such fiscal pressures, and probably contributed to the lack of treatment for the unit's second child. Notify me if spouse is repossessed. Begin archivist personal notes on current case. First note of relevance. I flagged the subject's audio diary as a primary source, and quite an interesting one at that. All accounts seem to confirm that the first stage of Operation 11 was a complete success. Insurgents were able to radicalize locals to accomplish their assigned tasks and cripple City 11's defensive capabilities. The subject directly participated in the terrorist activities of the followers of Daniel, and was largely responsible for the first breach. It's fascinating to hear a personal account of the breach. It was the largest recorded loss of life before the invasion. I'll send a report of their success to the Foreign Subversion Division. Second note of relevance. These recordings provide further confirmation that City 11 continues to suffer from MAS. The subject's description of his child's illness is consistent with recognized symptoms, though a physical autopsy would be needed to verify that diagnosis. Hopefully future data will enlighten us on the details of their treatment options, but regardless, I'll flag this and send it to the Health Division. That brings us to the third note of relevance. The bodies found after the final breach, as well as all documented possessed, none match this subject's dental records or genetic sequence. It's Fair to speculate the subject is either still alive, or his remains have yet to be identified. I'll inform the captain of the repossessors to contact me if he is found. If possessed, I believe he might have some important information regarding the project. Which leads into the fourth note of relevance. It seems the subject came into direct contact with priority 148801, given name Kishu. It's likely that's where the subject received the technology needed to cause the first breach. If the subject is found and possessed, he should be questioned at length about the individual he spoke to. Any and all information on priority 148801 is Class A information and could lead to further elucidation on the final stage of the project. Final personal note. Among his recordings, the subject recalls a dream. In this dream, he states that he's on the 8th tower of Calescai. Now, there's not enough evidence to draw conclusions, but my instincts tell me that this tower is important to the project. The subject apparently learned about the tower from his religious indoctrination, which locals called the Truths. Once Phase 1 of the archives is complete, I'll be turning my attention to source text from the Anointed for any reference to this tower. And this lead may not end up being very promising, but I have a hunch that it's worth pursuing. I hope I'm right. Alright, closing out file number 1147525 for now. End audio log.
The Eighth Tower is a Harper's Farce production and is written by Jordan Gingery and Ricky Teal and produced by Ricky Teal. The voice of Jeremy is John Sanders. Music is by Harper's Farce. To find out more about the creators, lore, music, and other art, go to harpersfarce.com and be sure to find and follow us at Harper's Farce on all social media for updates and other news. We're launching a Kickstarter to help us fund not only the next couple of arcs we have planned, but also an entire album of music we've been working on for over 3 years. Go to harpersfarce.com to find a link to that Kickstarter and check out some of the sweet rewards that we're offering. I'd like to thank you all one last time for your support and engagement throughout this, and with your help, we'll see you in a few months with the next story arc. So to find out more about the future of this podcast, as well as this Kickstarter, the following is a conversation between myself and my co-creator, Ricky. Well, hi, everybody. This is Jordan Gingery, and I'm sitting with
Ricky Teal.
And we just wanted to, first off, give a big ol' thank you to listening to our first 5 episodes, the Jeremy arc. I know for me, it was a really big learning experience. How about you, Ricky?
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah. We went into this flying completely blind, having no idea how to produce a podcast, except for that you should use, a Yeti. Which is cool. They don't sponsor this, but that'd be cool.
They should.
Absolutely.
Please, if you're listening.
Yeah, so other than thanking you for listening, which has been just totally awesome, what else do we want to tell the viewership here there, Ricky?
So I think anyone who has made it through all 5 of these episodes can tell that the story is a lot bigger than it was at the beginning of this arc. And hopefully they're as excited as we are, or, even like just partially as excited for what is going to be coming next. So we really have a huge story and so many fantastic characters that we've fallen in love with. And we're really excited to make them come to life and actually let you guys be able to experience them.
Yeah, that being said, the next 5-episode arc we're working on right now is going to focus specifically on Kishu, who you heard Jeremy kind of talk about a little bit in episode 3, the mysterious man who appeared to be probably of the Anointed caste, being down in the Drudge didn't make much sense. And we're going to find out a little bit about his story and also his his truth per se, that led him to that point of giving Jeremy this artifact, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I think viewers will really enjoy the next 5 episodes because we're really telling the story from a different perspective. And so, you're going to be learning about the world. And I think as you learn the world from Kishu's perspective, you'll realize how much of what you were told about the world from Jeremy's perspective was really particularly from his perspective. Like, our narrators aren't necessarily reliable all the time, or they don't really know what's going on. They're pretty clueless most of the time. So I'm really excited to allow people to really see a different side of this world.
For sure. And then our other bit of big news is as we're progressing and moving forward, we started off as a band, actually. We like to make music, and we were like, well, let's write an album. And we're like, well, what kind of album should we write? And we decided on this story, and we came up with the city of Calescai, and we started writing music. We decided to tell an album's worth of music from 3 characters' perspectives. And as we were doing this, we kind of realized the limitations that the musical format gives you for narration. You only get so many lyrics per song. And that's what led the 2 of us to do this podcast, which has been awesome.
And then combine that with the fact that the lyrics I like to write are always really poetic and full of imagery, but totally not clear on what's happening.
Absolutely. So yes, that's what led us to do this podcast. And we are ready to go forth and create and record this album and keep making podcast episodes. But in doing so, what do we need? We need money.
We need money so bad.
Yeah. These are expensive projects. The amount of things we learned throughout these 5 episodes was incredible, and we'd love to be able to give you higher quality audio. I mean, you can hear these credits probably sound a little bit better than Jeremy's audio. That was because that was the first thing we recorded ever.
Yep.
Period. We learned a lot from that. But yes, so we are launching a Kickstarter right now that's going to fund, we're calling it Volume 1 Calescai instead of Album 1. The reason why we chose Volume is because it's going to include everything from another 10 episodes of the podcast, mini episode spin-offs, a bunch of really cool art, some short stories, and an album that's going to clock in at about an hour and 20 minutes of music. It's going to be really an incredible undertaking.
Yeah, and I think people who enjoyed the first 5 episodes of the podcast, you have a lot to be excited about.
Absolutely.
Because not only are we going to be continuing the story through those next 10 episodes, although that is a big part of it, obviously, but the short stories are really going to help fill out the world and let you know what are happening to some of the characters that are more on the fringe of what's happening in the podcast. And also, wow, I'm totally forgetting what I'm saying.
They should be excited. Why should they be excited?
What other stuff are we doing?
That's fine. Podcasts. Music.
Right, yeah. With the podcast music, that also was a huge undertaking and learning experience for us, and I think it turned out pretty dang well.
I'm a little proud of it.
If I can be honest. However, we're going to be building, hopefully with this money that we raised, we're going to be building a really proper studio. So not only will the vocals, performances be in higher quality for the podcast, but we'll also be able to really create full soundtracks for the podcast coming into the future, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, that's going to be really awesome. Speaking of the podcast music, that's actually going to be one of the rewards for this Kickstarter, as we'll give you this beautifully organized named song list. And as you've listened throughout these 5 episodes, there's not much repeated music, and we wrote pretty much a song per scene to capture that moment's emotions, and it was a fantastic process. And some of that music is just powerfully emotive, and we're really excited to release that for everyone. Other podcast-related benefits that you can get rewards from this Kickstarter are things like having a character become named after you. Your character, your name could be immortalized forever in the world of Calescai, which is pretty cool. Another one is having a personalized thank you read by yours truly. Yeah, I'll say it in that weird, serious voice I do when I'm doing credits. It'll probably be like, and then I'd like to thank so-and-so for their gift really a lot.
You have a strong but beautiful radio voice, Jordan.
Thanks.
So not only will the money be going towards new recording equipment and making sure that the podcast is of a really high quality going forward, but part of it is the story that we want to tell is going to get bigger, which you guys saw in these 5 episodes. The scope is a lot larger by the end of it. And that's going to keep getting larger. And part of that is we want to bring in really talented voice actors to help bring these characters to life.
Which isn't to say that John Sanders is not talented, because he's incredible. And a massive thank you to John Sanders for doing this on the promise of it eventually being published. No payment was promised his way. He just was a fantastic dude who is willing to get down and dirty with a bunch of complete noobs.
He is a talented saint. Yes, definitely not trying to imply that he's not.
So thank you, John, for all the work you gave us. That was phenomenal.
Absolutely. But going forward, we would like to not ask people to do things out of the graciousness of their hearts.
Absolutely.
Although we appreciate that. But, he deserves payment, and the people that we want to bring on in the future, they deserve payment for their talent and their hard work.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're coming up with a bunch of really cool rewards. Please go to harpersfarce.com and go to that link to the Kickstarter and look over the rewards, and then click donate. Whatever that button is. That's the most important part. You'll have to put your credit card information in. That's fine. It's safe. People do this all the time. They got you.
It's true.
Kickstarter's got you. That's fine. But please go to harpersfarce.com, follow that link, check out our reward tiers, watch the Kickstarter video that Ricky's putting together right now that is just really awesome. Find out more about our story, about Calescai, and then engage with us here. We have a lot going on with this story, and we're just so excited to present it to you. Again, huge thank you for everybody for listening to these 5 episodes and engaging with Jeremy and learning a little bit about Calescai, our city. A massive thank you to everybody that's going to donate on the Kickstarter. I'm so excited for what's going to come out of that. We're going to bring some amazing, amazing products from that. It's going to be incredible. And then with that, we'll just close together. Ricky?
Okay.
So say we all. One more time.
Maybe we should have scripted this.
Okay. With that, we'll just close out with So say we all. Bye.